Good afternoon, everybody. It's Jeremy again, reporting from my living room as usual. It's snowing outside today, so that's freaking awesome. Gotta love Michigan and its bipolar weather. Anyways, we're gonna talk about recovery today. Well, I'm gonna talk about recovery, and you can listen if you'd like. If not, I get it. Um, basically, I was just looking into things about how you have to kind of pretty much change your whole life in order to live in recovery and what it means and the steps, some important steps to take, some things to watch out for in recovery. And one of the things that I was kind of looking into is the fact that you don't recover from your addiction simply by just stopping using. You recover by creating a new life where it's easier not to use. And some of the things that we must do in order to create that life is first of all is avoiding high risk situations. Most of us have heard that the acronym HALT, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, to stay away from those situations because they can lead to bad decisions, especially tired. For me personally, when I get tired, I get very frustrated and tend to get in that mindset of just saying fuck it and being and not using any tools that I have to deal with situations and just kind of wanting to run from them instead of dealing with them. Especially tired. Yeah, tired is definitely the biggest one. Lonely is plays a big part in it too. That I've noticed recently. I've had some struggles with making close friendships in recovery, and my mind telling me that, well, if you go back to the bar, there's always people there. But those aren't the friendships that I want. Those are, just those surface level bullshit friendships, and they don't mean anything. That's not what life is about to me anymore. So I really have to watch out for those two. For me personally, I don't really deal with anger too much, so I always stay full. So I definitely don't go hungry. But an important thing to watch out too is how you feel at the end of the day. Um, the strongest cravings usually come at the end of the day because of we could have a bad day at work, not get a good night's sleep the night before, you missed lunch, so you're hungry, and these things just kind of pile up, and you kind of resort to old habits and when it comes to dealing with these problems. So it's very good to be aware of these high risk situations and how you can avoid them. And that just like any other habit, it takes time to build up, um to build up, just to get used to dealing with these things, I suppose, because obviously I can't think of a better way to say it. Um, yeah, and another important aspect of recovery is learning how to relax. People basically use for three reasons: to escape, to relax, and to reward themselves. And the first rule of recovery is that you must change your life, and relaxation is essential to recovery. Whether you go for a walk or meditate or read a book, find something that helps you relax. it's extremely important to do something every day, to kind of relax and escape and reward yourself, and just to quiet the chatter in your head. Um, Another important aspect is coping skills. Obviously, we have to find new ways to deal with the problems that we would normally just mask under alcohol and drugs. And the ability to relax and manage stress, and the ability to change negative thinking is extremely important. When you're tense, you tend to do what's familiar and wrong instead of what's right and new. Um, and when you're tense, you're not really open to change. So making sure that you're relaxed and don't put yourself in those situations is extremely important. Also, cognitive behavioral therapy is important because negative thinking is a major cause of anxiety and depression, which often underlie addiction. And if you can change your thinking, you will improve your life. I'm a big firm believer in that we create our own realities, and what we think we manifest. So if I believe that I have a good life, I will have a good life. If I think negatively about my life, it's going to be negative. And I've proven that to myself time and time again throughout my addiction, my constant relapses, and my time in recovery now, that I have, a little bit of significant time compared to what I had before. I can definitely see a change in my perception of reality and my reality just based on how I think. Another important aspect is being honest. Addiction requires lying, and it becomes part of your life. Part of that lifestyle is constantly having to lie and make up stories, and the truth becomes something that's hardly used. At least in my life it was. I constantly had to come up with some story about why I couldn't pay rent, or where all my money went, or why I was gone for as long as I was, or why I was nodding out at the table, or the bruises, whether it was the bruises on my arms or anything. I was constantly lying, constantly, because I had to. I couldn't come clean about where I was in my life at that time. It didn't seem like an option because I was still trying to live this facade and put on this show that everything was going way better than it really was, because I couldn't admit myself that things were as bad as they were. So of course I'm not gonna fucking admit it to some strangers or coworkers or family members or anybody else when I'm still in denial myself. Um, so I was doing more lying to myself than anybody else. And so being honest is something that's gonna take some time to get used to. But you can't like yourself when you lie, which just leads to more escaping, and then that leads to more lying, and you get caught up in this just vicious cycle of lying and using. And there's that old saying that nothing changes if nothing changes. Um, Basically saying, will more lying and more isolating and more of the same make you feel better, I can't see how it could. We definitely need a complete change, and recovery requires complete honesty. We have to be honest with our family members, we have to be honest with our doctors, um, especially when it comes time to getting, if we need some kind of, there's a situation where you need some kind of prescription or something, and that was one of the hard ones for me, because I used to shop around for doctors and go to them specifically to get painkillers. So to go into a doctor's office and the first thing I say is that I'm an addict and I can't be prescribed any kind of narcotic is foreign to me. It's not something that I'm used to, but after the first couple times, I got used to it, and it became a little more natural. It's still, it's still weird to do that, but the amount of respect that I've gotten from doctors after saying that and being honest with them has been really helpful in being able to do it more. Also, if in recovery, a lot of us choose to go to see a therapist or a support group, and being honest in there is so important, because if you're not honest about what's going on in your life, then nobody can help you and nobody will understand what's really happening. So you have to be honest with everybody. um Complete honesty doesn't give your addiction a place to hide. And when your addiction is hiding and waiting, you're in trouble. So it's better just to be honest and put everything out there, and get the help that you need. Um, One mistake that people make in early recovery is thinking that honesty means being honest about other people. And they think that they should share what's wrong with other people, and recovery isn't about fixing other people. It's about fixing yourself, and you have to stick to your own recovery, and because focusing on others is just deflecting from the attention from you working on yourself and your own recovery. And like I was saying before, honesty is for a lot of us, it doesn't come naturally. I know that I've been in several situations where I've been telling a story or talking about something, and I'll realize that it's not true, and I have to come clean about that while I'm in the middle of telling this lie, or not necessarily a lie, or maybe just, well, fabricating a story, or it's gotta things have to I have to be honest today. And it takes practice, because it's something that I was used to not doing. um you know Changing your life is what makes recovery rewarding, but it also makes it challenging, because change is different. Even good change is different. I know for me that I couldn't stay sober until I was more afraid of that same old life than I was of change. I had no idea who I was gonna become, and that was scary, because I thought I knew who I was. I thought I had this personality, but that was just who I was in order to maintain my addiction. And I I have to change all of that, and it's difficult to find out, especially when you get older, and trying to rediscover yourself is a scary place. But what's scarier is that person that I know, is that person that I've been for all those years that's gonna kill me, that's gonna leave me miserable and broke and homeless with no friends and no family. That shit's scary. Now, change, I embrace change now. I love having new situations arise in my life and new challenges to really see what I'm made of and see the things that I can accomplish. Without change, I'm just doing the same old shit, and I don't see what I'm really capable of. So, most people just sleep off through life, and then they wake up and wonder why they're miserable, because they don't think about who they are or who they want to be, and recovery gives you that that look into your life, into who you want to be, because I get to choose who I want to be today. I'm no longer a slave to some chemicals, and a certain lifestyle that was destroying me. So I found out that something like the I'm thankful for my addiction today, because it helped me find the peace and tranquility that most people only wish that they could have. It forced me to look inside of myself. It forced me to really work on myself, and without it, I don't know if I would have this serenity that I have today. Maybe I would. I can't say, but I know that because of my addiction, the person that I am today is extremely happy, and just thankful for everything that they get. So so yeah, that's my talk for this week. Just some things to focus on in recovery, and some things to think about, to help grow your recovery and stay on that right path. So thanks for sticking around and listening, and hopefully I'll get better at this next time. And just remember that together we will change the world. Thanks, guys.